Hi, I am MvdSteege, and I'm going to take you through Session 5, Strategic Systems Coaching for Leaders in a Turbulent World. This is Chapter 10 in our book, and it begins on page 229. So in this session, we're going to look at why systems coaching is relevant, what it is, and how you do it. So let's begin with why. I'd like you to imagine that a leader has an internal compass that directs their behavior, decisions, and actions. When this compass points to true north and the leader is moving in that direction, they are moving in the direction of the ultimate purpose of the organization and its vision, its core vision. If a leader does not use this compass, they get lost along the way. If the leader is lost, the followers are in the dark. They don't understand what the strategic priorities are. They are not connected to the vision, and they are not sure where they need to be focusing. This leads to a loss of a common sense of purpose. Eventually, people give up. They surrender their natural sense of ownership and their innate desire to make a difference in the organization. They start competing for resources, silos develop, there's a lack of communication and feedback, the customer service starts to suffer. This causes great misery for the organization and for the workforce. Therefore, it's very important for the leadership to pick up that compass and refocus on the core purpose of the organization, the heart of the organization, and try and get everybody back online and back on board. So you can imagine what dynamics occur in our volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, and what challenges the leader faces in that situation. We actually turn to leaders to help us understand what the key challenges are that they face in this situation. This is a map put together by leaders and thought leaders. And this essentially indicates what are the key issues that the leader has to face and deal with when they are being visionary during volatility. So that's aligning everyone to the purpose, ethical governance, self-leadership, resilience, and flow, which you've heard about earlier in this course, or embracing the triple bottom line. To understand the context during uncertainty, these were some of the key challenges that emerged: nurturing the right culture, driving pure customer value, leading the financial value drivers, reviewing organizational relevance and appropriateness, and realizing the potential that lies in everyone. With respect to creating clarity and complexity, we have implementing appropriate business models, which really helps, choosing and implementing the most appropriate technology, leading organization to digital change, which is a big transition for many existing organizations, thriving on operational excellence, consistency of corporate image, communications in new media, and then finally, for agility and ambiguity, some of the key challenges that they have is considering both agility and stability when leading change, or enabling open, fast organizational cooperation in order to remain competitive, certainly identifying and implementing continuous innovation, and embracing the power of diversity. And we mean generational. For the first time, we have 4 generations working side by side. We're talking about gender diversity as more women enter the management and senior leadership positions in organizations. And we're talking about culture diversity. And then also anticipating and leading workforce changes or demographic, geographic moves and shifts. So we took those challenges and we asked leaders to prioritize them, which is the most difficult one. And aligning everyone to the organization's purpose, vision, and strategy was the highest rated difficulty, that challenge that leaders need to overcome in our VUCA world. So looking at this map that we've just covered on the VUCA world and leadership challenges, it's clear that leadership is really a dynamic, multi-layered, interconnected process that really occurs on every level of the organization. And as a systems coach, having sketched this context of organizations and leadership and VUCA, we want to start looking at exactly what systems coaching is. The strategic systems coaching, firstly, is about really guiding the leader to use that, the leadership to use that inner compass to connect to the higher purpose and the core direction, the vision of the organization. Companies thrive with a sense of purpose and everyone in them, and without it, they wither or they wail. So the very essence of systems coaching is to provide support to leadership, to align everyone, and to improve the quality of leadership on every level of the organization. Because systems coaching is such a deep, personal, reflective process, it helps leaders to lift them from the shadows of their own thinking and releases the barriers that block the truth and help them relocate that sense of meaningfulness in terms of the organization and also their own leadership roles. In this kind of coaching, the leader has, or leadership have the opportunity to step back and reflect. It's very unique. Each situation is different. If we call it an individualized learning process or journey, the leaders or leadership are able to see new connections. They gain completely fresh insights, and they start seeing the deeper causes and also find unique solutions to the dilemmas that they face. So systems coaching is very much a facilitated process, and to access their real potential, clients really need to take responsibility and make the changes themselves. So, as we said earlier, the first major function of systems coaching is to really help leaders use that inner compass and redirect. The second major function of systems coaching is really to help leaders step back, look at the different parts of the organization, how they interact with one another, and to facilitate the feedback loops. So systems coaching provides this opportunity to really, for collectively getting everyone to give some feedback to one another so that they are back on track and aiming for true north in the business. So this is an example of a systems coaching model. Systems coaching has its roots in change management methodology and human-centered design principles. Essentially, this is an example of different processes of change all coming together as systems corporate coaching. It's very important as a systems coach to keep updating your knowledge. Psychological knowledge is an important part. What motivates people, understanding some personality theories, looking at neurocoaching strategies, to have some business acumen, to understand the profit and loss drivers in the organization, to understand how the different levels of the business interact together. For example, the dynamics between the parent company and the local subsidiary, or the interaction and delivery between the CEO and the board level, for example, or the needs of the shop floor and how that and the role that they play in terms of operationalizing that strategic plan and the vision of the organization. It's important to have organizational knowledge, an understanding of what the different departments in the organization do, what the functions are of HR, of ICT, of finance, of production, etc. Also, coaching knowledge and the various different models, processes involved in that. And then there are always some particular focus areas that arise that you need to gain knowledge and core knowledge on. So to coach, you obviously need to have that solid theory and literature behind you to understand the coaching philosophy and process. It's important to have adopted or created a model of coaching so that you can apply your practice in a systematic and integrated manner. You will need to use some templates and checklists because systems coaching can be quite complex and there are multiple players involved, sometimes multiple coaches. It is therefore also a great opportunity to co-coach, not only as a new coach, but often in systems coaching, co-coaching, for example, in teams, is very facilitative and effective. Furthermore, it's important to debrief, to get some supervision, because there might be multiple coaches involved in one organization, working on various levels of the organization and using different kinds of coaching techniques. Getting those coaches in a room and debriefing, understanding what are the recurrent themes that are emerging across the business through the coaching process, or what the strategic issues are that is emerging through coaching, and sharing that improves coaching practice. Let's have a look at those different kinds of coaching and how they happen all at the same time in the organization. So the first one is individual coaching. For example, individual leadership coaching with the CEO or executive, or all of those executives going through a one-on-one leadership development process where they do some self-reflection and look at their own leadership impact, what is going well, what they feel they should be changing, and where they are heading. This moves down to team coaching, where, for example, the executive could participate in team coaching and together, with the help of a coach, refine or design and develop their vision or their strategy, their operational plans, or together decide how they're going to be rolling out change in that organization or across their different organizations. There could also be inter-team coaching as part of the same process in the organization, where, for example, the vision is rolling down and each different team division in that organization is going through team coaching to unpack the consequences of the new vision, to align their own job functions and team contribution to that vision, and to own it, to give their ideas and help shape the operationalization of that vision or strategy. So finally, on the right, we have an example in conclusion of how 3 teams individually had coaching and then came together and experienced some cross-organizational coaching to give one another feedback and understanding for what their own priorities were, what they needed from one another, and how they could best serve the customer. So I hope that has given you a clear understanding, or somewhat of a clear understanding, of the nature of systems coaching. I hope that you enjoy it, and please read the chapter, and good luck with the rest of the course. Thank you.